And here we go. Keith McPherson with me, Gabe Zoda here on the Playbook. It's about to have a really fun, whether it is half hour, 45 minutes, talking New York sports, Yankees, Jets, Giants. As much as we really don't like talking about the Yankees right now, we got it, Keith. And yesterday with the Red Sox, you think maybe it's the start of a big series, want them to take 3 out of 4, but they just couldn't get out of their own way, errors left and right. It just was not a fun watch.
I was there. I got my George Costanza bobblehead. Where is it? Hold on. This is what the people came to see.
Right.
This is what the people came to see. All right, hold on. Let me see here. And this guy, I don't care about this bobblehead at all. The box is already ruined. I never watched an episode of Seinfeld, so spoiler alert. I don't know the significance of this or what it means or why anything. Like, this is cool though.
Yeah, it's a good little quote there.
The quote is what got me because I have to take naps all the time. I don't sleep at night regularly. So if I got a 30-minute window to take a nap, the quote is, I love a good nap. Sometimes it's the only thing getting me out of bed in the morning. I can relate. I can relate. So that's real. That is all it was worth. That is what last night was really worth, going to get a bobblehead and the pandemonium that went on. Because if you listen to me on the fan, I say, just go to this stadium, enjoy the bobbleheads, get your bobbleheads, enjoy the vibes, enjoy the weather, get your drinks, see the homies that you usually link up with, because this season's going nowhere. I'm not on the ride anymore. And as I watched that game last night, let's go back actually as we speak about rides. The Yankees took a plane ride from Tampa to New York. And I was listening to the caster say that he was on that flight and he didn't get home until 4 a.m. So let's use that as an average time for the New York Yankees organization coming back from their spring training home after playing the Tampa Bay Rays there and also playing into extras and also the night before having a 2-hour rain delay. Their biorhythms are all messed up. As someone who doesn't sleep correctly, I can relate. And I just was talking to Johnny Lasagna on Twitter about this. I said, it's not an excuse. Everybody hates the Yankees, so they don't even get this as like a excuse. And it's not an excuse. They got to win. They've only won one game against the Red Sox. I was at that game too. They almost lost. But when you factor in their travel, when you factor in that they didn't get to bed till 4 a.m, then they had to turn around and be at the station. Or the station, that's me, going to bed at 4 a.m. and being at the station at 10 a.m. like I was yesterday. It's such a short amount of time to get good sleep. So when they get into this game last night, the errors, the walks, the mental mistakes, the little inches of the game, the little things that decide the game that Alex Cora always beats Aaron Boone on, they got. They, little things like having better at bats than Jazz and Ryan McMahon had, stranding Ben Rice on third base, Paul Goldschmidt not being able to field the ball, Jazz with a stupid throw, Ben Rice not a good enough throw, Luis Heel not able to field his position. All of those little things pile up. The walks, going to Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver throws 52 pitches in 2 days. Camilo Doval has been underwhelming at best. He's been a disappointment as a Yankee. You're not going to beat the Boston Red Sox, who were in New York on Thursday with a day off after they blew 2 games against the Baltimore Orioles. They were in their hotels, rested, relaxed, ready to play. And by the end of that game, you could see that they didn't make it a game. Nathaniel Lowe, who was claimed for free, it was inevitable that he was going to come here and kill the Yankees. And then Roman Anthony, who signed a 10-year contract, signed a 10-year contract with the Red Sox. He had a huge moment in the rivalry last night, and they got to bounce back today.
I mean, they have to, but you just talk about how back and forth, you coming into the series, it's a big statement series, right? And we talk about the rest, you talk about all these things, these little mistakes, whether it is stranding a guy on third base with 1 out, whether it is booting a couple baseballs, mistake pitches here and there. I mean, that's championship baseball that the Yankees just aren't doing right now. And I know you're off the ride. I know you're just kind of there for the vibes. I mean, you talk about the bobblehead. The Yankees needed a nap last night, right? So maybe they can get their naps in for tonight's game. And you talk about the rest of the series. I mean, what do you need to see now, whether it's this series, the rest of the year? Because I think overall they have a pretty soft landing. I think they'll finish in the wild card, if not the number one wild card spot. What do they need to do to make you believe that they can get past maybe the ALDS?
I just got to take it game by game, series by series. They won 7 out of 8 games between the Twins, Cardinals, and Tampa Bay series, and we all felt good about that. But we knew those aren't good teams. That's what you're supposed to do. Tonight, I need Max Fried to go 7 innings, giving up no more than 2 runs. I don't know how many hits. I don't know how many walks. I don't know how many strikeouts. But he has to provide length, and he has to keep the game close, and the bats have to come alive against Brian Bayo. Max Fried, it is on you tonight. The world is watching. This is why we brought you here. This is the rivalry. You got to shake it off. You haven't had a good start in a while. Like, it is time to see Max Fried go out there and dominate and be the ace of the staff. And something else I've been saying on Twitter and on WFAN is, if this is the version of Max Fried we're getting, pack it up. Pack it up. There's nothing like, if this is your game 1 starter in the postseason and he's been trending bad his last 10 starts, then what are we even talking about, man? This team's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, though, with Max Fried as well. I mean, everyone, it's so weird. I feel like Max Fried, at the end of the season, we're going to get a notification that said, oh, Max Fried was dealing with XYZ for the last couple months of the season. It's just, it feels like kind of that Yankees strategy where a guy is struggling. He tells you, oh, I'm fine. I just got to figure it out. And then at the end of the year, he's dealing with something else. It's so bad with Max Fried, and it brings a lot of question marks to this rotation in general, right? I mean, you have guys, whether it is Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, doing well, and then your top guys, whether it is Rodon, whether it is Fried, you need to see these guys be aces. They just haven't been. So too many question marks with that. With Fried, though, I mean, what if you had to pinpoint something? You think it is fatigue? You think it is maybe those finger problems? I mean, what is it with Fried?
I just think with Fried, he's getting behind in counts.
Yeah,
he hasn't been as dominant with his stuff. I don't think we can look at the blister anymore and say that's an injury. It shouldn't be fatigue, but it is. I mean, he's pitched a lot for the Yankees. It's his first year with the Yankees. He's hit a wall, and maybe he's just turned back into a pumpkin. I don't know. Maybe it was a facade. Maybe in the beginning of the year, we thought he was going to be Cy Young. He was an all-star. And maybe that was just, Yankee beginner's luck. Like, I don't know. I got to watch him. I'm going to watch him very closely tonight. He throws the whole kitchen sink, right? But like, if he doesn't have command of his fastball, if he's not throwing that in the zone, the rest of the stuff doesn't matter, because he's going to end up walking guys, getting behind in counts. He's got to keep the ball in the park. He's been giving up homers as well. He's got to dominate tonight. He's got to shove. He's got to fill up the zone, no walks, and go at these guys. And the defense better be behind him. They better be sharp behind him.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the most positive thing, though, as we move on now, it has been these rookie pitchers, right? Will Warren, Cam Schlittler. I mean, these guys have shown that this team has a future in the pitching department. I think those guys are in serious conversations if they do make a wild card series or, forward. I mean, these guys, Cam Schlittler, to me, he seems like the third best pitcher on this team. It doesn't seem like it's Heel. Will Warren and him are kind of neck and neck. And I've made videos about Cam Schlittler, and I don't know if I'm just overgassing him because I love him, because I was watching him all the way develop, or if it's just real juice. But I mean, this guy, Cam Schlittler, I mean, he's been dominant. I mean, he's a guy not walking guys, especially in his last start. He's a guy that is trusting that fastball, really attacking these batters. And it seems like that just isn't what the Yankees pitchers are doing right now. And it's just a breath of fresh air to see.
Yeah, you're not gassing him up. I mean, this guy was perfect through 6 innings, and he had everything going, locating the four-seam fastball, throwing it 99, 98, 97, had the cutter going down and away, was dropping the curveball in there. I was amazed watching him. He looked like a master, and he's in his 7th start. I made a joke about, the Yankees don't develop any pitching. The Yankees don't have any young pitching prospects. Well, here you go. Will Warren and Cam Schlittler. Will Warren is another guy, and everybody says this, if you take out his start against Toronto and his start against the Dodgers, he's got a good ERA. He strikes out a lot of guys, and he has grown up. So, I mean, the future is bright with those 2 young guys. And you're right about when we get to October, which they're gonna make they might be a wild card. They might still challenge for the division. Who knows? Like, I'm still looking at last night as that was a sleepy ass game. They made a ton of mistakes, and they were still in the game. I was there. They were still in the game despite all the mistakes. So, like, let's take it one game at a time. Let's see if they can split this series. I haven't been saying, yo, take 3 out of 4. I haven't been saying sweep. You're ahead of them in the standings. Split 2 games. Split 2 games. And then you have the Nationals and the White Sox, and they got to go deal with Baltimore. And when we do figure out how to get into a wild card series or the division series, wild card series, you could see, if it's 3 games, Fried, Rodon, Heel, who was rookie of the year last year. But if we do get into a deeper series, Will Warren or Cam Schlittler are going to have to take the ball. And I'm starting to lean towards Cam Schlittler because of his stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? His stuff plays. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how many starts he's made. His stuff plays in Major League Baseball. Some of these guys cannot hit it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, I think it is just that breath of fresh air of just having a guy in that rotation that not is just throwing gas, because we've seen guys just throw gas with a little bit, not as much control, but having someone who's throwing gas, painting corners as well. And he's a tall guy. I mean, they show 98, 97, but I mean, they always talk about how tall he is, 6'7". That ball's coming out with a little bit more juice as well. And look at this. We're getting people throwing you a little bit of cheese here. DFA Stroh to sign Blackburn. I mean, it was funny to see the Yankees always getting the Mets scraps. The Mets always getting the Yankees scraps, though, back and forth there. But I mean, once again, Cam Schlittler, that's a guy that seriously, I mean, even in the wild card, I mean, I'm putting him game 3. I know that, especially in a winner take all, if I don't have Fried, if I don't have Rodon, am I really trusting Heel after what I just saw last night? I can't do that right now. So, I mean, I love what I saw from Cam Schlittler right there.
How about you just made me think of something mentioning Stroman in the scraps. Like, how about the Yankees quietly picking up former Met Paul Blackburn? Like, oh yeah, we'll take him, we'll stash it, we'll stash him just in case. You never know.
Yeah, like what are you gonna get from that? And I mean that talks. I do want to talk about now the bullpen though. I mean, and talking about Blackburn, talking about someone that can maybe give you depth here. I mean, just where are we with this bullpen? I mean, they coined this the super bullpen. But outside of Bednar, who even he gave up two runs last game, I mean, Devin Williams, you can't put him anywhere other than low leverage. Luke Weaver looks good. But outside of that, I mean, how trustworthy is this bullpen right now? I don't really think it is.
It's not. I don't trust Aaron Boone with making the right decisions. Yeah. I mean, I would have brought Tim Hill in to face Hamilton last night.
Why does he always get like back of the bullpen, like low leverage? Like, why do they never trust him? All he does, he has a sub-3 ERA. All he does is get big outs.
I'm going to Tim Hill. I'm like, yo, Luke Weaver pitched yesterday. Like, if he's walking guys, you don't get more than 2 walks. You walk 2 guys, you walk 1 guy. All right. Second guy you walk, nah, I got to get you up out of there, bro. We can't give him free bases. Where are we at with this bullpen? Well, at the deadline, we thought it was a super pen. Mm-hmm. Jake Bird is with the Scranton Rail Riders. Bednar has been great, but even he showed he was human, and Devin Williams had to bail him out. But, in the first game of this series, you have now smoked Luke Weaver, where, I don't know, maybe he'll be available Monday or Sunday. Mark Leiter Jr. pitched. Camilo Doval was trash. Tim Hill pitched, right? I don't know. I just think that's why I said Max Fried has to give us length today, because the circle of trust, the confidence that you have or don't have in these starting pitchers or in these bullpen pitchers right now, and with Aaron Boone being the one to make the decisions, it is an adventure. And De Los Santos pitched as well. So with the bullpen budget, right? I don't know how many of these guys are going to be available tonight. You would assume Weaver is down. They might. I wouldn't want to go to Doval. They might throw Leiter back out there. Tim Hill, maybe, depending on who we face. But it's like, nah. Tonight should be Max Fried to David Bednar. I don't even want to throw low-lev Dev in there, but they might try it. If Fried can only go 7 innings, they might try to throw Devin Williams for the 8th and Bednar for the 9th. And that's going to be risky on a Friday night in the Boogie Down Bronx. Hawaiian shirt night in 203. I'll see y'all in the bleachers. No bobblehead tonight. This is going to be a bunch of bobbleheads out there drinking and turning up and hoping that we can get a win.
Yeah, I mean, you need to see – I think Bednar, even in that last game when he gave up those 2 runs, like, I mean, he hadn't thrown in a long time, so I think maybe we can cut him some slack there. But I think the bullpen, I think that's been the biggest issue of this season. The offense has been one of the best, if not the best, in the league, depending on what metrics you use, what you look at, and it's just been the pitching. And recently, they've been pitching a little bit better, but you need to not gas these guys. You need to not do anything. Before we kind of move on to the outfield here and that dilemma, that situation, I do want to talk about Volpe just for a second, right? Because Volpe, it seems like that post All-Star game surge is falling a little bit. This just came to me. I mean, Caballero's looked good, but he's not the defender that Volpe is or could be, and I don't think he's really the player. But he's given some juice to this team. I mean, first off, you gotta love what you see from Caballero, and should he be getting some more playing time here?
Yeah, I mean, Caballero is annoying AF.
Yeah,
He is a certified pest. It's good to have him on your side, but I mean, him getting thrown out of the game the other night, that was just bozo activity. Yeah. Luckily, we survived it. I will say his presence on this team has pushed Anthony Volpe. I will say, just like the thought of Anthony Volpe, having to sit down, which he did sit that last game of the Cardinals series, I think it's good for him. I think it's healthy. Competition brings out the best in the best. Caballero, though, like, I don't know. Where's he going to consistently play? Ryan McMahon's your starting third baseman. We saw him at third.
Yep.
Volpe's your starting shortstop. In right field, in a short right field in Yankee Stadium, you got to put Stanton out there.
Yep.
Caballero comes in late in the games. Caballero comes in as a pinch runner. Caballero comes in as a defensive replacement. Cabby 2.0. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can play multiple positions. I don't know. He has given us a spark, and I think him being an agitator is good. Like negative energy added to the Yankees. Sometimes you need like a little bit of a villain. I feel like sometimes the Yankees are too nice. They need to kind of, get angry and get nasty and compete. But yeah, I'm not so worried about where he's going to play every day. It's good to see him in the lineup every day because he does provide a spark. Yeah. But now that we're back at home with Stanton out there in right field is not an option. Judge is going to DH. And that changes things as far as where you're going to put him in there because you got to have Volpe and you got to have McMahon in the infield.
Yeah, and you just mentioned the outfield. I mean, we got to talk about that, whether it is Jason Dominguez or Judge not being able to maybe throw 100% for the rest of the year, Stanton playing right field, and maybe even in a wild card series, Stanton might have to play left field at Fenway if things go in a certain direction. So
maybe.
Yeah, so let's talk about that outfield for a little bit because, I mean, what is the ideal? We have Jeremy in the chat saying in a perfect world, Dominguez center field, Belly left field, Judge right field. I mean, where just are you?
What happened to Trent Grisham, Jeremy? Yeah. What happens to Trent Grisham?
Yeah, I mean, Trent Grisham needs to play. I mean, he's been
great all year. He's been great all year. So that's where you start. Trent Grisham in center field, Cody Bellinger in left field, Stanton in right, Dominguez on the bench.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about this all week. Embrace the Martian time ended against the Twins. Like the Yankees got serious and had some urgency, and they're like, he's a liability. And then you go to St. Louis, and Stanton has to recover and can't play that big right field that's like, I don't know, 50, 60 feet deeper than Yankee Stadium. So you're forced to put Dominguez in there, and what is he doing? The ball is bouncing in front of him. The ball is going over his head. And I said, he gives me a headache because I root for him. I want him to do good, embrace the Martian, all that. I like the kid, but then he's sliding into second and he's oversliding the bag, ending the inning, like creating an out. I'm like, I don't know. I can't. The time for the rookie development is over. The season is on the line. So Stanton has to play in right field as much as possible. But even last night with Trevor Story running home, I'm like, if Judge or Belly is in right field, they get to the ball and they get that ball in. Stanton's got to slowly run to the ball, pick it up, and throw it in. It's a liability. Ball will find you, and it's always those little things, game of inches, the margins with the Red Sox, and that's how they beat you.
I mean, even in that ground rule double that was hit over to Stanton, I mean, I feel like if Judge or anybody else is out there, they catch that ball. But Stanton, comically slow, you can't get to the ball, and it bounces over the wall there. So, I mean, it's just – I mean, as you mentioned it's just tough with Jason Dominguez because we think he's a good player, but the Yankees have better players in front of him. They have better veterans in front of him, and it's just not the time. And I mean, you and I are both the same. We both love Jason Dominguez. We want him to be good. We want him to be great. But you can't force the issue, especially with a playoff spot on the line. So I guess that kind of urgency we like to see from the Yankees. But I mean, this outfield, it's a dilemma here for the Yankees. I mean, when Judge comes back, right? I mean,
when is Judge coming back? Aaron Boone and Aaron Judge have two different timelines.
We were told last week he was going to start playing the field, and now this week, a week later,
can't fool me again. I'm tired of believing in these guys.
Yeah, and we always make the mistake saying, "Oh, Judge, they told us he'll be back, and he just now this is going to trickle on until probably September when they start playing these softer teams." So I mean, it's just a rough spot for the Yankees, a rough spot for kind of just how we're ending this season, and we're obviously hoping for the best. Let's talk about some football, Keith. I mean, let's talk about some maybe a little bit more positive. The Giants, preseason champs, hang the banner in the MetLife, and they need it at this point. I mean, that QB room has looked dynamic in the preseason. I know a lot of people will just say it doesn't matter at all. I think it matters a little bit, especially when Jackson Dart looked like how he did.
Man, Jackson Dart, I spoke about with Art Stapleton on the midday show yesterday. And what I said was, I didn't want him to do anything to hurt the preseason that he had already had. Yeah. That he had already had a pristine, shiny, amazing first two games in the preseason that got a lot of hype around him. And also, I've been saying this, it's preseason. We get it. They're playing against backups, and it's vanilla defenses and coverages and blitzes and schemes. But if this kid looked like Dylan Gabriel, it would be loud as hell. But if this kid went out and put up the numbers that Cam Ward put up, it would be loud as hell about, oh, the Giants traded back into the first round to get this kid. Oh, they passed up on Shador Sanders. They passed up on all these blah, blah, blah. Yo, dude is a baller. He's saucy. That's a saucy white boy. He's got the drip. He's got the moxie, the swag, the way he dresses, the way he talks, just the way he warms up. Confidence is everything at the quarterback position. I played a little bit of quarterback in my life. When I was most confident, I was most successful. When I was worried, or when I had a bad practice, or I was stuck on a incompletion or interception, you can't ball. This kid goes out there and he belongs. My favorite part of last night, he don't slide because he's third string. He's like, I'm not sliding until I'm starting. I'm a running back when I'm outside of the pocket. And he gets hit and he goes into concussion protocol for the first time in his NFL career. And he's telling them, hurry up. Hurry up. He wants to get back in the game. Nah, buddy, you're a whole rookie. That's not how it works out here. You're in the blue tent. You just sit down, relax. We're going to check you out. And this is preseason. Just keep it cool. But, man, I love the dynamic of Jameis, Tommy DeVito, who balled last night. Jameis comes in. First thing he does, throw a touchdown pass. Mm-hmm. The Giants have characters. I've been saying this on WFAN now for weeks. Cam Scattaboo, Abdul Carter, right? They've got a bunch of tight ends. They've got actual guys in their secondary. They've got characters on this team that their fans can rally around. Not to throw Daniel Jones under the bus, but he was a stiff. He was a plain Jane, stiff, boring-ass dude that nobody could really rally around. Now you got some guys. Now you got some characters.
I thought the biggest thing with the whole Daniel Jones era, that saga that it was just they looked for this professional guy, right? The successor to Eli Manning. Who are we? We want a nice face for the classy organization that is the Giants. And they got this guy from Duke, and everyone's like, well, he kind of resembles the way he answers the questions to Eli Manning. Well, we had to see it on the field. We didn't see it on the field. So the Giants said, you know what, screw that. Let's get these characters. And I remember one of the first clips that I really made for you was about when Jameis Winston was signed, when you're talking about, hey, I love what the Giants are doing here, bringing in these different characters, these leaders, these veterans. Then you add that to Jackson Dart, who both can have that swagger that he's born with, but on the flip side, learn from these guys who've been in the league and have seen these rooms. And now moving forward, we know Russell Wilson's going to be the starter day one, but Dan Orlovsky was talking about Jackson Dart earlier this morning, was talking about maybe he could start at the end of the year. But this is really important on Brian Dable, how you actually advance now with Jackson Dart. And what do you need to see? What needs to happen? I know you tweeted about Jackson Dart maybe starting down the line this year, but what's the timeline? I mean, what's the conditions that would make for Jackson Dart to start this year?
After they get past the Eagles, if you watch or if you look at the Giants schedule,
Yeah.
We're gonna watch the Giants play the Eagles on a short week. Thursday night football, that's an L. Short week against Philly, it's an L. I don't care how you shake it. Like they're just better than you. This is a new team with a lot of new pieces. They got to come together. Then the Giants got to go to Mile High. They got to go all the way out to the altitude in Denver and play the Broncos. Even if they play them tough, I think, Peyton and Knicks and like they're going to have a good team this year. They made the playoffs last year. I think that's a loss. And then they come back and they got to go to the Link. After you lose those 3 games in a row, dart time, 6 God, that's when it's going to be time, folks. And I think that is enough time for Russell Wilson to have 8, 9, 10 weeks of tape. And also for Jackson Dart to watch 8, 9, 10 weeks, right? 2 months, at least 2 whole months, September and October, 2 months of the season for Jackson Dart to go through game day warm-ups, right? Game day, be on the headset. Hey, coach, it's 3rd and long. What are we thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, see how it plays out. Take the mental reps. Then Monday, watch the film, and then go back to practice. And then, hey, that's halfway through the season. This kid could get the second half of the season where you're probably not playing for anything, but your future is there, right? Your future is there. And what I'll say is Russell Wilson is limited. He can throw the moon ball. He's seen every defense. He's a veteran. He's going to be quick, hopefully getting the ball out of his hands. If that offensive line can hold up and stay cohesive and protect him, he shouldn't be hurt. But he's one play away anyway. Jackson Dart might be QB2. Even if Russell goes down, I'm throwing Jameson. Throw Jameson before Dart. And then if it gets down to the point where it's like, hey, we've lost 3 in a row to the Eagles, the Broncos, the Eagles, rest of the way, Jackson Dart time. And this kid's going to go out there and he's going to boogie. He's going to run. He's going to throw. And Giants fans are going to rally around him. He's going to make some plays.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the character, right? He's just been such a breath of fresh air, even if, right, like even when like they had Tommy DeVito playing games. It was this whole Italian thing. I'm Italian. I loved it for a little bit, that kind of shtick that they had going on. But this guy, I mean, he just seems like he's ready for the mainstream media. He seems like he's ready for the national media. He's just got that juice that you love to see, whether it is the second half of the season or whatever. I think best case scenario is Dart doesn't have to play this year at all because Russell Wilson looks that good. Russell Wilson has this team competing every single Sunday, and Dable can really work on this kid in the lab because you can just tell on the sidelines, like he's looking at Dart like we look at, the hottest girl in the world, right? Like
Finally, what a dream.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but like Dable inherited Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is a stiff. It ain't 2009 anymore, right? You need somebody that's got the social media, that's got the flow, got the headband, got the Anakin Skywalker eye black, got the chain on, got the wristbands, got the Jordan cleats. As I said, this is a saucy white boy. This guy is ready for New York. They thought that they needed the buttoned up, not give you too much stiff mannequin for New York. No, New York, we need stars. We need energy. And Jackson Dart brings all of that. But then also when he gets on the field, he's confident. He knows what he's doing. I don't think ideally he doesn't play. I think ideally there is a way that he plays because the schedule is so tough.
Right.
They're not winning anything this year anyway. The schedule is so tough. This team is not going to the playoffs. So what you're going to do is try to keep your head above water for some time with Russ, maybe Jameis. And then when it's looking like the math ain't mathing, go ahead, young Dart. Go ahead, young Jackson. It's your franchise. Start learning. Start getting some reps because not for nothing, we're in a league where, and I was just talking about this with Ryan Hurley, my boss at WFAN. Yes, there are the Patrick Mahomes that had a year behind Alex Smith. Yes, there's Jordan Love who had multiple years behind Aaron Rodgers. But, like, you get drafted, you get thrown into the fire. Cam Ward is in the fire. There's no one. CJ Stroud, go ahead. Jaden Daniels, go for it. Drake May, we tried to keep you out of the fire, but couldn't for long. Mm-hmm. It's yours. Caleb Williams, you're the man. Like, there are a lot of other young quarterbacks out here getting it done, and this guy can do it with his arm and his legs. Like, I don't even have to go through the list of the rest of these guys that are young and playing. Like, the league doesn't wait, and you really don't want to wait either because you only have him for a certain amount of time on this cheap rookie contract. He's got to get his feet wet. He's got to start playing, but don't rush him into week 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you'll know. We'll all know. We'll be talking about it and monitoring it. We'll be like, yeah, it's time for Jackson Dart to play.
Yeah, I mean, even on Dable's side, right? Like Dable, if they lose those 3 games in a row, even to pretty damn good teams, I mean, the doors are going to be knocking down from the fans. Everyone's going to be calling for Dable's head, saying, "Hey, we got to get this guy Dart in no matter what." And that's kind of the biggest challenge I think for Dable is how do you kind of keep your job right now and keep Dart as your quarterback, as your project.
Their jobs are safe.
You think 100% their jobs are safe?
Yeah, I think if you survive losing 10 weeks in a row and we're allowed to continue on, and their jobs are safe just off this draft class. They drafted Abdul Carter. Yeah. They traded back in and drafted Jackson Dart. They won the first night of the draft, and then they even got Cam Scattaboo in the 4th round. That's the steal of the draft. They're good. And you know what? Mara said, we did everything to ruin Daniel Jones. They're not going to do everything to ruin Jackson Dart, and he looks the part more than Daniel Jones ever looked.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I said, what a dream for Brian Daboll. Finally, with this franchise that hired me as head coach, I get to choose my own quarterback. I didn't want Shedeur Sanders. I didn't want any of these other guys. We went through our process and identified it was Jackson Dart. And now look, don't we look like we were correct? They're safe. Their jobs are safe.
Yeah, I remember at the end of last year when they were really talking about, hey, Daboll, he's on the super hot seat. Daboll said something. Daboll and Shane had like this joint press conference. I remember I was watching it at work, and they were saying, yes, we talked to Mara. Mara wasn't too pleased when we were talking to him, but he is confident in our plan. When he said he's confident in our plan, I know, okay, they don't care about Daniel Jones. They're going to get their quarterback and they're going to move forward. That's when I kind of knew. It's like, all right, they got Mara in their little spell, because it's both of them. It's Shane and Daboll. They're right next to each other. So they came together, came up with some sort of genius plan to tell Mara to believe in them. And I guess now they're safe with that.
If you let these guys go against your wishes of bringing back Saquon Barkley, you got no choice but to ride with him.
Yeah.
You got no choice but to see this thing through till the wheels fall off. You got no choice, bro.
Yeah, and I think that was, I mean, looking back, I don't even know if that was like the worst decision in the world. They weren't winning anything anyway.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl and Saquon rushed for 2,000 yards. Terrible decision.
Terrible decision not to keep him, but like you keep him and then what? Still win 3 games?
And the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl.
I guess.
I'll never get over that, bro. I'll never get over the fact that the
Eagles win the Super Bowl. I don't even know. Whatever. Their defense was great. You want to talk about the Giants defense for just a second? You mentioned Abdul. Sure. You mentioned Abdul Carter. I mean, Abdul Carter. That D line. We know it's been the talk of the town. I mean, with that defense, you talk about they're not winning anything this year. I mean, that defense alone will win them a couple games that they probably shouldn't have. And that defense, you got to capitalize on having a defense that good, though. No,
that's got to be the plan. I've been talking about. So in 2022. I did a Giants pregame show on every Thursday with Kim Jones. Shout out to the lovely and beautiful Kim Jones. I hope you're well. It was great working with you. I've always been a fan from your Yes Network days. But we would talk to Giants players and fans for about an hour every Thursday. And that season, nobody thought they were winning anything. And what I noticed the pattern was they played defense well enough that they could steal games in the 4th quarter with field goals, clock management, time of possession, running the ball, getting first downs, Saquon finishing off teams.
Yeah.
So the formula has to come back. Now it's not Wink Martindale. Shane Bowen, I'm looking at you. If anybody should have been fired, it should have been Shane Bowen last year. Now is your time to shine. The horses are in the stable. You've got a ridiculous defensive line. And you know what? They shored up that secondary too. If that defense can hold teams under 20 points, Malik Neighbors is going to get off, right? You got a 3-headed monster in the backfield that should be able to get off. You should be able to steal some games 23-21. You know what I'm saying? They should be able to steal some games 20-17. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's the biggest thing with me when we talk about timelines, because obviously the NFL is right now is so hyper focused on those young quarterbacks, those cheap quarterback contracts before they start making $45 million, every single one of them. So, but on the flip side, you got to capitalize on that young defense as well. And I think that's one of the bigger things. And how can Shane Bowen do that? Last year, because didn't really like him at all. This year, he sticks around. Hopefully, he could be more blitz heavy. I think that was the biggest problem last year. They were trying to get Isaiah Simmons to get more looks, to be more of a guy that could blitz, and they barely used him. They used him more in coverages. This year, you got to be more aggressive. We'll see what that. I wish they had Wink Martindale defensive mindset this year again, on that defense. So, I mean, that's something.
You don't need to blitz when you have Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, anyway, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Chauncey Golston. They should have so much pressure up front, 4-on-5. When they go 5-on-5, they win every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you get those you get more of the offense on the field more often. I think Malik Neighbors ends up having close to 1,400 yards. I think he's going to end up being a top 5 wide receiver by this year. But let's go a locker room down. Let's talk about the Jets here for just a little bit more. A lot of question marks on this Jets team. What do you get from Aaron Glenn? What do you get from Justin Fields? What are some of these stars going to do? Let's start with Glenn. I mean, some of the things we saw in the preseason was exactly what you thought you were going to get from Aaron Glenn, keeping his guys accountable. He looks like he is the part to change the culture for the Jets.
He's not showing his hand. And that's what I love about this guy. He's been around the block before. It's his first rodeo, but it ain't his first rodeo.
No.
And so everybody wants to know, oh, how are they going to throw the ball? What are they going to do? Oh, this guy better not be all talk. He's not going to be all talk. He's going to coach his ass off. He already has. So just wait. Wait until we get into the actual games. Wait until we get into the actual thick of the season. He's a defensive coach, I guess, because he played defense and he was a defensive coordinator, but he is a coach. You can just see in the preseason, he has his hands in everything, and he should. And it's going to be it's going to be a quantum leap from Rob Saleh to this guy. Like what you saw from Rob Saleh versus what you'll see from Aaron Glenn is going to be different. I think that they're making a lot right now about Justin Fields. I remember you making one of those clips early for me, people saying he can't throw. He can throw every pass on the field, but it's about scheme. It's about establishing the run. It's about play action, and it's about targeting Garrett Wilson because there ain't nobody else to target. If they can do that effectively, Justin Wilson. I'm thinking of Zach Wilson. Justin Fields will do enough, and he's athletic as hell. This is the most electric quarterback that you've had in a Jets uniform. He's going to be able to just break off some runs. When there's nothing there, he's just going to be able to tuck it and run. So get ready to see a lot more Braylon Allen. Get ready to see Breece Hall catching the ball. Get ready to see Garrett Wilson winning in one-on-one coverage and Justin Fields lofting the ball up to him. They're going to run the football, and they're going to throw when they need to. And he's already come out, Fields, and say, it's about moving the ball down the field. If they got to throw underneath to Beck, the fullback, if they got to throw to Mason Taylor or Jeremy Ruckert or whoever's at tight end, or even these guys like Josh Reynolds or Alan Lazard, who are possession receivers, they're veterans, but they're not big play receivers. They're catching curl routes and ins and digs. So be it, man. I think we just got to reserve judgment and not make any final claims about what the Jets offense is or isn't, what Justin Fields can or can't do until we see Tanner Engstrom, first-year play caller, first-year offensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, first-year head coach with this first-year quarterback. It is year one for all of them.
Bro, I think you gave the Jets fans something if Justin Fields doesn't do well. They're going to start calling him Justin Wilson if he ain't doing well. But
he's going to be way better than Zach Wilson ever was, for sure.
100%. But, I mean, you nailed it, obviously, right there. I think what people loved about Rob Saleh when he first got the job was what he was as a defensive coordinator, that hype guy, that guy that was motivating the team. And they thought they were going to get that as a head coach. And he didn't look like that. He looked like he calmed himself down, turned way more buttoned up. And now you get Aaron Glenn, who starts that same kind of vibe. But I mean, he's shown so far that he's keeping that same energy, which, I mean, you love to see from him. And you talk about Justin Fields, kind of an up and down preseason though. But I mean, he's learning a lot of things there on that new thing. I love Braylon Allen. I think Braylon Allen is going to be the guy. A lot of Jets fans talking about Braylon Allen being better and more used than Breece Hall. And I think you see that as well this year. I mean, but with Justin Fields, I mean, what do you really expect from this year, though? Whether it's the Jets or just Justin Fields, I know he's going to get the offense rolling eventually, But I mean, are you expecting a lot this season?
No, I'm not. I don't know what to expect. I'll say this. I expect him to manage some games and win some games. I expect him to not turn the ball over. I expect him to do enough. I think he's a monster in short yardage where if they need him to run the ball to get a first down, if it's goal to go, cash, he's in there. I expect him to target his Ohio State buddy, Garrett Wilson. That's going to be his best friend. They might need to trade for another wide receiver. Here's something I thought, because they play the Eagles tonight. Pay attention to Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook. Martinez, who is, I think, like a USFL star, and Brady Cook, who's coming out of Missouri. And I think kind of Armin Membu gave him the nudge, like, hey, bring my guy in.
Mm-hmm.
They let those guys throw in the last preseason game. They're running the same offense. So what you see those guys throw is what they will be throwing when when Justin Fields is under center. Russell Wilson popped into my head because there's a lot of people that say last year Mike Tomlin didn't want to go back to him. Well, he should have, because he let the Steelers die. They lost 5 games in a row to end the season with Russell Wilson under center. This was the younger, more explosive, more athletic kid. And I guess you can say that he can't read defenses, whatever. I think he's grown. I think that he spent enough time with the Jets. I think they're going to play to his strengths. And I think that they're going to have a good running attack. And then they'll be able to pass off that. And we just got to wait and see. I'm not ready to say what is or what isn't until we see real, actual regular season football.
Yeah. I mean, then now we flip over to the defensive side here. I mean, Sauce Gardner, he had a hamstring last year. Now is coming has camp. He's got this calf injury. I mean, a lot of leg injuries for him. And last year, Sauce didn't really have as good of a year as Sauce Gardner should have had. So, I mean, when you look at defense, I mean, it's got to start with Sauce and those cornerbacks.
Sauce was getting some Ice Spice. Sauce got the bag. Now he's got a calf injury. Not great for your number one corner that's got to chase Tyreek Hill around.
Yeah.
Not great for your number one corner that's got to check Stephon Diggs. Not great for your number one corner that has got to deal with, I don't know who the hell the Bills are going to have out there. Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, Khalil Shakir. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's having these little issues, he's got to be ready to go, man. They gave you the bag. They look at you as a pillar of that defense. You're the guy. DJ Reed is gone. You know, they brought in the guy from Stevens from Baltimore. Andre Cisco is there, but those guys they're mid-level, like deep defensive backs. They did make that trade to bring in
the defensive tackle, right?
Yes, from
Vikings,
Minnesota, former captain. I'm pulling him up because I was trying to talk about it. Harrison Phillips, and that's going to bolster their defensive line with Quincy Williams is a tackling machine, but yeah, that secondary's got to be right. And I'm kind of worried about Sauce. Like I said, maybe he was getting a little too much of that Ice Spice, a little too much of that da-da-da, a little too much munching going on. And then he got the bag, and now he's got the calf injury. He's not practicing so much. They need him to be locked down. They need him to tackle and make plays. And I mean, the rest of the defense, I'm not too worried about. Look out for Will McDonald this year. Definitely going to he took a big step last year, but going to take another step forward under Aaron Glenn. Jermaine Johnson is working back. They're going to have the pass rush up front. That secondary's got to lock in and be decent.
Yeah, I mean, so overall, I mean, we look at New York football. It's a big stepping stone season to get the fans back and motivated. I feel like the fans always show up for New York football, but it feels like now you can start to actually build some momentum here. So, I mean, what else do we got? I mean, we're kind of closing down on the show.
The Mets lost. The Mets lost to the Nationals. They're pitiful.
You really want to do this again with the Mets fan? I thought you had your shots yesterday at them.
I can actually be myself. The Mets are trash. They don't have enough. Like, that's embarrassing. Like, the Nationals Twitter account is trolling you. They say, like, you know what the best part of LOL Mets is? The 2 L's. You got smoked. They put up 9 runs against y'all. Like, they didn't just beat you. You've got injuries, you've got issues, but focus on the Yankees, right? Focus on the Yankees can't beat good teams. The Yankees don't have to beat good teams the rest of the way to get to the postseason. You're not going to make the postseason just playing who you play. The Yankees can get fat on the soft schedule that they have and get into the dance. The Mets having the largest payroll in MLB history, the highest paid player in sports history, missing the postseason this year will be a disaster, and you can guarantee yourself I'll be on the fan to talk about it.
Bro, let that be the Yankees. Let that be the Yankees being the Mets, highest payroll, just paying Juan Soto all that money, making some moves with the bullpen, right? Doing all these things. Let that be the Yankees, and see the hell that would be raised on FAN, on all these social media platforms. But it's the Mets, so we ain't got to talk about it that much. It's okay.
They're
It's
the
okay.
Mets. They don't make the postseason back-to-back years. What are we expecting? Like, it's the Mets, guys. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. And that's the biggest problem, right? I feel like they get that excuse.
Fake ass want to be big brothers. Fake ass want to be the Yankees. Want to play in the big boy pool. Want to sit at the big boy table. But when the going gets rough, when it gets real, what did Juan Soto do yesterday? Like, oh my God, Keith, stop talking about Juan Soto. How? Like, that's the highest paid player in the league. That's the guy that you paid to be clutch. He's never clutch anymore. I watched him have a bunch of clutch at bats for the Yankees. Juan Soto goes 0 for 5 with 3 Ks yesterday in the rubber match. Ew. Get a refund. Ew. Scam alert. Scam likely.
Let that be last year. If that's last year in a rubber match against a bum team, bro, you're getting calls all night long. They can't re-sign this guy. This guy's not clutch. This guy isn't built for New York, right? That's what they would be saying. But right now, it's soft over there because they have flashy lights at Citi Field. So, I guess that brings people over there.
All right, I hear my son coming in crying because they probably pulled him out of the pool. So we got to wrap this up. I'll let Gabe wrap this up.
Well, I appreciate you, Keith, hopping on the show, talking New York sports. He's bringing his son around and saying what's up. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Make sure you're tapped in to Keith McPherson, whether it's on the fan, on Twitter, on Instagram. What's going on? All of his handles are right there. Keep following us here, whether it's at The Playbook, at Gabe Zoda, at BTO Media. All of this stuff's written on the screen. So thank you so much. Hopefully we get to do this again, talk more sports. And Keith, I appreciate you hopping on, man.
You got it. We'll definitely do this again. Jackson says hi. He's got to go down for his nap, and we got to handle that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to The Playbook and follow Gabe. Let's go, Yanks. I'll see you at the stadium tonight.
Good night.